What's up guys, Leaf right here, welcome to the channel, and today we're going to be discussing where the Sony a6400 is still a good option in late 2020 going into 2021. And spoiler alert, I'm currently filming on the Sony a6400, so you probably have a pretty good idea of where I stand with this camera. But we're going to get into it and we're going to discuss the good things about this camera and the bad things about this camera, so make sure you guys stay tuned. Alright guys, welcome back. So if you guys are new to my channel, the kind of things you guys will see here is tips, tricks, reviews, and tutorials for the budget filmmaker / content creator. So if that's something you're interested in, consider subscribing right now. Alright guys, we're going to go ahead and get into this video right now. We're going to be talking about what I think is good about this camera, what I think is bad about this camera, whether I think this is a camera you should consider buying going into late 2020, going into 2021. First thing I'm going to say is I'm not going to dive deep into the specs. If you guys are interested in that, I will link the description to other videos where I've talked about in more detail the specs to this camera. And first off, I'm a positive person, so we're going to start off with the positives, the things I love about this camera. Number one, the image quality. I love the image quality on this camera. It is a beautiful, crisp, sharp image. The colors look great. I know there's the Sony color science haters out there that hate the Sony color science. I personally love it. I think it is the color science on this camera and the newer Sony cameras looks amazing. In my opinion, I think it looks great. So I really don't care what the Sony color science haters out there say. I think the colors coming out of this camera look amazing. So the whole image coming out of this camera is just freaking amazing. I love it. Number two, the autofocus. The autofocus on this camera is amazing. It is super fast, accurate, reliable. I love being able just to press record and not worry about whether the autofocus is going to work. And coming from Panasonic from when I first started, and I'm not going to get into that. You guys know about the Panasonic autofocus. It is horrible. So this is a breath of fresh air. Just know I press record and it works. You can move around and always in focus. That's awesome. And number three is the wide range of picture profiles that you can get with this camera. You have S-Log2, which I'm shooting right now, but you don't see it because I already have it color corrected. S-Log3, HLG, CineStyle. It gives you the options to have as much control over how your image is going to look, and I like having those options. Before, when I started getting this, I really didn't care about picture profiles, but now having them, they are awesome. So I'm glad that this has that. It makes the creative process a lot easier and a lot more fun because you get the options to kind of play with the image a little bit more and see kind of what your personal style is. So I like having that. I like having the control over the image. So that's pretty cool. All right, and number four is this thing takes amazing photos. Now, yes, I know, it's not full frame, and everyone says if you want to take real pictures, you need to have a full frame camera. I don't fully buy that. I'm not sitting here saying I'm a real photographer. I'm starting to dabble in it, and it's fun. But to me, you can take amazing pictures with an iPhone. So the crop sensor camera like this, you can still take amazing pictures, full frame or not. Was a full frame better when it comes to photos? Of course it is. But I don't know. I don't think it's that wide of a gap. But again, I'm not a professional photographer, so don't take my word for it. I will show you guys here in a little bit some photos I took with this camera, and you can be the judge of it, of whether this thing can take a good picture or not. So without further ado, actually, we're going to go ahead and get into some photos that I've taken with this camera, and we're going to get into a short B-roll sequence that I did with this camera. So don't go nowhere. Alright, welcome back, guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed the photos and the video that I put together. Comment down below, let me know what you think. Did the photos look good? Did the video look good? Let me know what you think. I thought they looked good, but might be a little biased opinion since when I did them. Well, I can say when something that I've done doesn't look good, but I feel like the photos that were taken look good, and I feel like the video that I put together, overall the image quality comes out looking really good. But again, that's what but again, that's kind of what I think. But anyways, again, comment down below, let me know what you thought. Alright, so right now we are going to get into the negatives, the things I don't like about this camera. Number one, the big elephant in the room, if you guys are familiar with this camera and most Sony APS-C size sensor cameras, it has no IBIS. Sorry guys, it has no IBIS. That is a bummer. That kind of sucks. It would be awesome if it did, but unfortunately it doesn't. So number one, doesn't have IBIS. Number two, battery life. The battery life on this camera is awful. That's all I can say about it. I'm sure you guys have heard about the battery life on these Sony cameras, except for now the Sony a6400. They actually have the bigger battery in there. This camera still has the small, I don't even know the battery number, but it's those small Sony batteries that nobody likes, that the battery just dies super fast. For photos it's not so bad, but when I'm shooting in 4K I can literally look at, just basically watch the power go down. I started this video, I was at 100% and shooting 4K 24 frames per second. I'm already down to 87, so it drains quick. So yeah, the battery life is awful. Number three, the ergonomics. Now I don't hate the ergonomics, but when the one thing I wish that this had that it doesn't when it comes to ergonomics. The rest of the camera I don't really mind. I just wish it had the bigger grip like the Sony a6400 has. I wish it had the bigger grip. That's the only thing. The rest of it I don't have no issue, just that grip I just wish it was a little bit bigger. So that's number three. All right, so number four, the codecs. It only shoots in 420 8-bit at 100 megabits per second is the highest bit rate it goes up to. So basically what that means is, if you're not familiar with that, is in post, if you want to do any crazy amount of color correction, you can't push this codec as far as you could, like for example like a 10-bit codec. You couldn't push the colors as far. You don't have that room. The image will start falling apart. So that's kind of number four, the negative, big negative of this. So yeah, those are kind of the negatives, but I kind of want to get into my overall thought of this camera. Overall, I think going into 2020 and 2021, this is a great camera that you can still purchase and you can still create a lot of good content, whether it's photos, YouTube, any other social media, even some work on the side as far as video or photo, I feel like this camera will do great for you on that. The negatives, as far as the IBIS, the battery life, the ergonomics, and the recording codec, they're not deal breakers for me. When it comes to the IBIS, I just have to be mindful about how I'm holding the camera. You try to use stabilized lenses if I have the option. So that's kind of get-arounds. Can get a gimbal. I know it's an extra purchase. I don't have a gimbal. The shots that you guys saw me put together, those were all handheld. So, and I feel like they came out looking pretty good. You have the tools in post to kind of help stabilize if there is a little bit of shake. There's a lot of videos out there on YouTube to kind of show you how to stabilize your shots handheld with no IBIS. So there's a lot of tricks that you can use that will help out. So there's that. The battery life, plain and simple, I just have a bunch of batteries, so batteries are cheap to buy. Just bring them all with me when I head out, and again, it's not a huge deal. It's not, oh my god, the battery life sucks, I can't buy this camera. No, that's not it for me. As far as the ergonomics, like I said, I don't hate the ergonomics. I just wish the grip was just a little bit bigger. That would be awesome. But otherwise, I've just gotten used to it, and it's not a huge deal for me. Lastly, the codecs. Yes, would it be nice if it had a little bit beefier codec? Yeah, it'd be nice. But at the end of the day, I don't do like heavy color correcting on my stuff anyway, so that's really not an issue. And secondly, the smaller codecs like this, it actually is a lot easier on my workflow. It makes it go by faster, versus if I had more of those beefier codecs, it would take my 2019 MacBook Pro a lot more work to get through those, and my workflow would just be a lot slower. So I don't really mind it. Maybe one day down the road get something that's can do a little bit more as far as those codecs are concerned, but right now I have nothing negative to say in regards to that. It's not a huge deal to me. Like I said, they're not all deal breakers. But if you are a person that needs IBIS, needs great battery life, needs great ergonomics, needs the beefier codecs, don't buy this camera. This camera is not for you. If you're someone that doesn't need those, or you're like me, that's just like, okay, that sucks, it doesn't have those, but it's whatever, I can get through that, then yeah, I definitely recommend this camera. I love this camera, and this camera isn't going anywhere. I can't say enough good things about it. So yes, in my opinion, it is still worth the buy in late 2020 going into 2021. So anyways, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys found some use out of it. If there's anything you guys want to see, like I always say, leave a comment, let me know. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. Just hit 100 subscribers finally, so that's the first small goal. Now just moving up from there, so we'll see how far we can go. So anyways, again, I hope you guys liked it. Again, leave a comment, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you guys at the next video. You guys have a good one.